penalty marker down as Payton picks up the first down and a lot more, but there is a marker down.
Yeah, it looked like Pittsburgh's right side was offsides. Of course, they'll decline it if that's true, but it looked to me like Pittsburgh was jumping the gun a bit.
John Banasak made the stop. Offside against the Steelers. And we will surmise here that the Bears will decline the penalty, which would mean it'll be a first down at the 41-yard line. Here's the Pittsburgh linebackers. Couldn't find three better in all of professional football than Messrs. Ham, Lambert, and Cole.
Number 56, defense, decline.
Was Robin Cole, the linebacker, who was offside. Here's the Pittsburgh secondary. You've had a little experience throwing into that group.
Yeah, it's a good secondary. They're excellent tacklers. They do a good job against the run, Pittsburgh, because their cornerback supports so well, Blount and Johnson.
Payton on the pitch. Cuts back inside, picks up 5 to the 46-yard line. Oh, he can move upfield once he makes that cut.
Yeah, Payton is, he can do it all. He's got great quickness. Once he makes his move, he can cut inside. Right here, when he makes that move, he's still at full speed. He can cut inside. Lambert's over there. He gets knocked out of the play, though, and there's a couple of Greenwoods over. But Payton's ability to cut, Frank, when he cuts, he's at full speed, and that's the difference between the great ones and the also runs. When he cuts, he's got that speed acceleration, and he's got those quick feet also.
They pick up a 5 yards of the play. It is second down 5. Bears moving the football from their 47-yard line. Early in the game, no score. Great big hole. And Payton jets across the 50, past the 45, and down to the 42. Now that's impressive.
Yeah, that's an excellent play. They're going into the middle a little bit. Greenwood is jumps just a tad. They don't call him there, but he's still off balance there. And it looks like Sorey was able to get out. And once Greenwood made that move, though, he was off balance a little bit. He tried to get back, and then Payton cut inside the block by Sorey.
That's another first down at the 43-yard line. Ricky Watts, by the way, has just come into the game. So he must have retreated to the locker room and got that ankle tape securely. He's in at a wide receiver right now. And Phipps is looking in his direction. Decides to go short instead and completes it at the 30-yard line to Suey. Matt Suey is down to the 25 and down to the 22, and the Bears are on the move.
Well, Suey came in there, and Robin Cole had him man-to-man, and Phipps laid it right out in front of Cole. Cole had Suey man-to-man, but the ball was well thrown, and Suey made a good catch. Cole was close behind. It was a fine throw and a fine catch.
Watch Robin Cole's hand here.
He's got his left hand, missed it by an inch. Well, Watts is back out again, but he's still going to play today.
Suey up the middle, down to the 20 to the 19-yard line. A pickup of 3. It's second down 7. There's Neil Armstrong, the Chicago Bears coach. An interesting chat with him before the game. He told me that he met you at a banquet last year. And you want to tell the story, who you thought he was?
It was in Chicago, and I thought he was the astronaut. I barely got out of my mouth, but I was sure enjoyed your trip in space, and before I was half done, there was no, I'm not the astronaut. So he's heard it a few times before, and I was just one of the klutzes he's heard it from.
Second down 8. Bears at the 19-yard line, make it 7. Phipps with good protection, going for 6. Boschnagel almost with a spectacular grab. Brian Boschnagel, who played his high school football here in Pittsburgh at North Allegheny High School before moving on to Ohio State, an All-American career. That would have been a great
We're going to see it again here. J.T. Thomas has got him to the inside. Johnson's got him to the outside. And Boschnagel splits the two of them. And really, J.T. was a little bit up front. He was a little bit too far in front of Boschnagel, but they had him double-teamed. The ball was thrown in there, and he almost made a one-handed catch.
It is second down. Make it third down. Still needing 7 for the first down. The Chicago Bears at the 19-yard line.
Here's where the Steelers are tough down here, Frank. They like to blitz inside the 20-yard line.
James Scott is in the game. He's wide to the left side. Ricky Watts is split to the right. Well, they're faking that blitz. And Thomas was offside. Payton on the carry. J.T. Thomas, 24.
What they do
Watch him.
Inside the 20, they like to blitz a lot. They like to fake the blitz. But here, of course, J.T. is he's a safety that's going to blitz this time. You can blitz with linebackers or the strong safety, the weak safety. That time they were going to bring everybody, including J.T. Thomas, and he has to gamble on the count. He's got to anticipate the count, and as you saw, he did not anticipate the count.
Impressive opening drive by Chicago. They go at the pitch to Payton, and Payton has the first down at the 10-yard line. Walter Payton, who has now rushed 4 times for 32 yards. And keep in mind that they haven't given up 100 yards rushing to a runner since back in 1977, too. Payton was supposed to play here in 75 as a rookie, was injured. That's the only start he would have had against the Steelers. Look at Alan Page.
The man peeking around the corner there was Alan Page. He's anxious to get in the game, but he'd like to sit on the sidelines, let this Bear offense do the job.
Bears could pick up a first down here inside the 1-yard line as they give it to Suey. And Suey carries it to the 7.
That was just an inside handoff. I think they were faking Payton to the outside and didn't get much. Bears keeps them honest.
Bears are hurting at that wide receiver position. They got people banged up all over the place, but the Steelers, of course, are not without their injuries either. As we mentioned, Joe Green is not expected to see action because of the flu. That gentleman is the Bears field goal kicker, Bob Thomas, who may be called upon here in a couple of downs. Second down. 7 to go for the first down. About 7.5 to go for the touchdown. Tips. Dropped back at the 18-yard line by John Banasak, number 76, the right end.
Well, that was a big play by Banasak. He came, he must have come around Albrecht. Can't quite see him here, but he made an inside escape. He faked to the outside and came inside at Ted Albrecht, number 64, and Banasak is created the 5th trap for the Steelers. The Steelers are down in traps this year. They've only had 4 going into this game, so that's number 5, and that came at a opportune time.
That's in contrast to the Steelers. I should say the Bears 15. 3rd down.
In that 3-man rush now. 3 men down, and they got the one lineman out.
Bears from the 17-yard line. Move it to the 11, and that's going to be it. So Bob Thomas will be called upon to do his number as the trap certainly paid off. Williams, the pass receiver, Dave Williams, who was signed early last year as a kick returner and then saw all kinds of service because of injuries to Harper and other Bear running backs. Chuck Noll, the head man of the Pittsburgh Steelers. You called him, as I recall, one of the, if not the most underrated coach in football.
Well, he doesn't get the fanfare that a lot of coaches do, and a lot of them deserve it, but he's right up there with the best. Of course, he came...
28-yard field goal attempt by Thomas is good.
Right through the middle. He was the backup coach of the 70s behind Don Shula.
Chicago Bears, an 80-yard drive culminating in that 28-yard field goal, and they lead the Steelers 3-0. Capacity crowd of 55,000 as you look at Frank Pollard standing a yard past the goal line. Bob Thomas with the kickoff, and Pollard takes this one 2 yards deep. Out to the 10, 15. Pollard at the 20. You'll notice he made very sure he hung on to that football. Steelers will take it at the 32.
Well, Terry's had some sore ribs. He's wearing a flak jacket, and I asked him about it.
The only problem I had, Roger, was pressing on the ribs, and it actually made them sore than if I just dressed like this. But I have to wear them to prevent me from breaking them, and it's not going to prevent them from hurting if I get hit.
1st and 10. Steelers' first offensive possession at their 31-yard line. There's a fumble, a loose football, as the ball was wrestled loose from Greg Hawthorne, and the Bears have recovered. And again, the old turnover bug bites the Pittsburgh Steelers on their first play from scrimmage.
Franco, an inside handoff to Hawthorne, and he just lost control of the ball. He didn't get hit. He just lost the football. And some Bear underneath there recovered it.
Turnover number 12 on the season for the Pittsburgh Steelers, who led the league in that category. Blank picked up the fumble for the Bears. Their fine safety. And a golden opportunity here for Chicago as they have a first down at the Steeler 38-yard line.
They go to that short pass to back again here.
Barschnagel to the right side, Scott to the left. Running backs are Walter Payton and Matsui, or rather Williams. And Phipps trying to throw the ball. Fumbles it. It's a loose football. And the Steelers get it.
Well, that's...
First, now comes the question. Was his arm going forward or back?
They kept both. They were going for the bundle here. They kept both backs in blocking right there. And Payton's man, Cole, got away and got around Payton and caused the fumble.
So the turnovers are even at 1 apiece. The Steelers have a football, and when we come back to Pittsburgh, they'll have a 1st and 10 at the 50.
Blitz on first down. They were coming, and Phipps kept both backs in. They had to block the blitz, and Cole got around Payton and caused the fumble. His arm wasn't going forward, and it's a good call by the referee, and Big Jack Lambert recovered the football.
Steelers 1st and 10 from the 50-yard line, trailing here in the first period by a score of 3-0. The fake to Franco Harris. Hawthorne at the 35, down to the 25, and out of bounds at the 17. Greg Hawthorne, the second-year man from Baylor.
Watch the inside fake here by Bradshaw. Holds Hicks, the linebacker. Watch Hicks hold right here. He's looking, but he's got coverage. He's got coverage in Hawthorne. Hawthorne runs an out route, and then he breaks downfield, and Hicks is looking for him. The inside fake held him. Hawthorne made a nice catch downfield, and that was the play. The inside running fake was the key to the play.
Hawthorne is starting his second NFL game today. He's filling in for Sidney Thornton, who is out with a neck sprain. Hawthorne it is again. This is a young man that the Steelers have high hopes for as the eventual successor, not to Thornton, but to Franco Harris when Franco retires. They figure eventually he will team with Thornton to give the Steelers a great 1-2 punch at the running back spot. Pittsburgh backfield. The veteran Franco Harris, one of the all-time leading rushers in the NFL, coupled with Hawthorne. Smith, of course, is filling in one wide receiver slot for Stallworth, who's out with an injury. And you'll notice also John Kolb is out of the starting lineup for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's got an ankle injury. 2nd and 9 from the 16. Bradshaw. Almost intercepted as Gary Fensick, number 45, had his hands on the football. Swan was in the area.
Good coverage by Fensick was back there helping Terry Schmidt a little bit. Terry Schmidt was also covering Swan well, but Fensick was back. They were double teaming Swan and did a good job.
Take a look here at the Bears front four. Dave Hampton has been a strong point. Bears defense is ranked near the top all year thus far in the NFL statistics. It's two of the best safeties in the game in Fensick and Plank. 3rd down. Pittsburgh needs 9 for the first down. Ball is at the 16-yard line of the Chicago Bears. Bears faking a blitz there, and we get a whistle prior to the snap as flags go down all over the place.
Start, number 74, offense.
14. See Penny on the left side of your picture moving his body. That's a no-no.
Can't do that, offensive lineman.
3rd and 14 from the 21-yard line.
Got Smith to the corner.
Smith it is. Touchdown.
Well, I tell you, that's confidence. Allen Ellis was over there, and again, Plank was over there. They were doubling Smith. Smith made a good move to the inside, and Ellis should not have gone for that fake to the inside because he had Plank over there helping. It just was a mistake. Ellis, Bradshaw had enough confidence in Smith and drilled it in there. Perfect throw, and it was a good route into double coverage.
6 minutes, 14 seconds left to play in the opening period. Barr on to try the extra point. Colquitt to hold. And the kick is good. And the Steelers take the lead midway through the first period of play. 7-3 back at Three Rivers Stadium right after this. For the record, Terry Bradshaw's first touchdown pass ever against Chicago.
His 10th straight game, he's thrown a touchdown pass. Here's one of the strengths of Bradshaw. He's got such a good release, and you got to put that ball on a line, because Ellis was over there and Finsick was over there also, and you've got to drill it in there. You can't lay a pass up like that and be knocked down. Bradshaw has the strength to drill it in there, and that was the difference in the touchdown.
So Bradshaw's now gone for the cycle. The Bears, prior to this, the only team in the league he hadn't thrown a touchdown pass against. Suey up the middle, 20, 25, 30, running hard out to the 32-yard line. Ex-Penn Stater getting a lot of work. Zach Valentine making the stop off the Steelers special unit. There's Bradshaw getting briefed. Payton bounces out across the 35 to the 36-yard line. Of course, you never made the clipboard, did you? When you came to the Cowboys, you were first string automatically, so you were automatic headset, weren't you?
I went right to the headset.
Think you missed anything?
It's a big jump.
2nd and 7. This telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League. It's intended for the private use of our audience, and any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Pittsburgh Steelers and the National Football League is prohibited. Ball is at the 35-yard line. Steelers faking the blitz. Phipps back to throw it. Sees a hole up the middle, runs it out to the 40, and slides to a halt at the 45-yard line. That's enough for a Chicago Bear first down. I imagine you don't have too many fond recollections of this stadium, particularly your game here last year with the Cowboys.
I remembered the game for 3 quarters, and then I remembered going to the airport on a bus after L.C. Greenwood put the lights out. L.C.'s their leading pass rusher, and I was stumbling like Phipps was running well that time. I stumbled for a first down and got hit by L.C.
Quick pitch to Payton. Marker on the play. Payton reaches the 48-yard line. Only 5 players in the history, as you get illegal use of hands against Chicago, only 5 players in the history of Three Rivers Stadium have ever rushed for 100 yards against the Pittsburgh Steelers. First and 20. Bears from their 35-yard line. 4:37 left in the opening period. Chicago trailing 7-3. Absolutely nothing there for McClendon. Willie McClendon, number 37, the second-year man from Georgia.
Well, John Banasek made a nice play there. Cincinnati's ahead of Houston in Cincinnati. It's a big game for Cincinnati, and Houston has a factor here for the Steelers. The Steelers lost a tough one in Cincinnati last week, 30-28.
2nd and 22 for the Bears after a loss of 2 in that last play. Phipps sending Baschnagel wide to the left side. He's got Watts flank to the right. Good protection for Phipps. Through the outstretched hands of Baschnagel. That certainly looked catchable, didn't it?
It was catchable. That was it's a good play. It got him about 10 or 12 yards and put him into a 3rd and 10, but the incompletion now makes it into a 3rd and 22. So Phipps wasn't going for the bundle. He's trying to get the 10 to 12 yard range, and he put it on the money to Baschnagel right there. A little bit high, but he should have had the football, and he realized it.
Terry Bradshaw checking that flak jacket. You never wore one of those, did you?
I wore rib pads, but I didn't wear the flak jacket. I think Pastorini started that flak jacket in Houston.
3rd and 22 for the Bears at their 33-yard line. Great escape by Suey, but he picked up just a couple of yards. Banasek, number 76, broke through there and contained him, and then the reinforcements arrived on the scene.
Banasek's all over the field. Traps, stop and runs, and he stopped the reverse that time. He caused the problem for Williams.
Bob Parsons, who along with Bob Thomas forms the oldest in terms of longevity kicking duo, I guess, in the league. They've been around 6 years. Smith is deep, and they got a piece of that one. Partially blocked. Bounces at the 50-yard line. Pollard picks it up at the 45 and is run out of bounds at midfield.
Calvin Sweeney gets a piece of this ball, number 85. He got...
This is what a punter is supposed to do, right? Follow the play, and
look at Parsons going downfield there. Yep, he has a lot to do with that tackle.
Timeout here in Pittsburgh. Back after this. With Roger Staubach, this is Frank Lieber in Pittsburgh. And the Steeler fans say this will not be Walter Payton's day. Well, so far he's rushed for 35 yards in the opening period. That's not bad. Franco Harris on his first carry of the day for the 45 of Chicago. A pickup of 5 on the play. It'll be 2nd and 5. Gary Campbell, number 59, on the stop. There's Walter Payton taking things easy on the Bear bench. Meanwhile, on this side of the field, John Banasak, who, as Roger mentioned, has been all over the field. Checking out some defensive signals. Steelers leading 7-3. 2.5 minutes remaining in the first period as Terry Bradshaw calls the signals. Hawthorne up the middle, a big hole inside the 40 to the 37-yard line.
This is a trap play up the middle. He takes a little pitch over to Franco Harris, and that was pretty fast right there.
He did move fast, didn't he?
But Franco went one way, and Hawthorne broke back up the middle in a trap and got good yardage.
That's a first down for the Steelers as they're moving now at the 37-yard line of the Chicago Bears. Bears defense trying to dig in. Hawthorne trying to bounce outside, doesn't get there. Good defense that time by Chicago's Jerry Muckenstern, number 58.
And Hawthorne had nowhere to go, and Muckenstern caused it. Got a yard loss.
2nd down. Little more than 10 needed for the first down. Bradshaw drills it over the middle. Diving catch by Hawthorne for the first down at the 25-yard line. Tom Hicks, the middle linebacker, number 54 in the stop.
Bradshaw's back, and again, Hawthorne's coming around the corner there. He's to your right, breaking to the left, number 27. It falls low, and good pass, and Hawthorne might have gone a long ways, but it was complete and good enough for the first down.
Bradshaw's mixed it up nicely. He's 3 out of 4 for 66 yards. Under some pressure, he unloads the football in the general direction of Lynn Swan. Swan, who caught the longest pass of his career last week against Cincinnati, a 68-yarder.
Pressure makes the difference in this play. Hartenstein, number 73, is coming from the other side over there, and he gets, he's trying to hit Swan. Swan's trying to come back to the ball, and Terry Schmidt was close by. But at the pressure in the pocket caused that incompletion.
2nd and 10 from the 25-yard line.
That's the best pass defense, Frank.
That's what it is.
A good pass rush.
Seems to me I've heard that somewhere.
Yeah.
Swan to the right side, Smith to the left side.
Terry's audible in this play.
Wide open. Hawthorne at the 22, down to the 20, and drives forward to the 15-yard line. He'll be very close to the first down. What made you notice there he was checking off?
Well, he saw something, and he was screaming out a change-up, and it either could be a color or a number while he was at the line of scrimmage.
Clock running down the final 5 seconds of the first period, and there is the gun, signifying the end of the first period of play here at Three River Stadium in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. The Steelers leading the Bears. Sarek needed for the first down. Nose of the football just outside the Bear 15-yard line. Randy Grossman, number 84, the tight end, positioning himself to the left. Hawthorne gets the call and hurdles down to the 12-yard line to pick up the first. It'll be 1st and 10 from the 12. Now, talking about Terry Bradshaw, it has been said before, but back in 1970, when the Bears and the Steelers tied for the worst record in all of pro football, 1-13, they flipped a coin to see who would pick first, and that coin flip was called correctly by Pittsburgh. Otherwise, Bradshaw could be in a Bear uniform today. go-to passer in the American Football Conference. Franco Harris to the 9 to the 8-yard line. Doug Plank, number 46, coming up from the safety position to make the stop. Tough man to bring down.
Franco is a big back, and he is tough to bring down. It's just an off-tackle play. Watch Plank. Doug Plank, number 46, gets him around the ankles, and that's the place you get the big guys around the ankles. You hit him up around the chest, and Franco's in the end zone.
2nd down and 6. Of course, Harris can fall forward and pick up those 4 yards. Ball is at the 7-yard line.
Oh, boy. Alan Page.
Allen has been known to get a little anxious. I tell you, he's off to a great start this year. Page has 7 quarterback traps, and that is more than 14 other football teams in the NFL. The Bears have a total of 15 traps. They lead the league.
That's not the time to go off sides.
Half the distance to the goal, moves it down to the 4-yard line. It'll be 2nd and goal from the 4. Bradshaw sending Swan wide to the right side. He's got Smith split to the left. Harris and Hawthorne are the running backs. Terry wants to throw it, and he tried to find Swan. Swan had a handle on it for a moment, but Terry Schmidt was back there defending, number 44.
I think Len almost had this, and he could have had it. Terry Schmidt, number 44, did get a hand in front of the ball, and he might have lost concentration on the ball or lost flight of the ball for a second, but it was catchable.
3rd down. Keep in mind now that the Steelers can pick up a 1st down a yard and a half away. It is 3rd down, 3 away from the touchdown. Grossman in motion. Franco Harris.
Good play by Alan Ellis that time.
He'll be close for the 1st down as Ellis, number 48, made the stop.
This is a pitch out just to the left. He's got Grossman coming across leading, but Alan Ellis comes out of nowhere right here and puts a stop on a big bruiser, and it's short of the 1st down. That's an excellent play by Ellis that time. That's the difference between a touchdown and going for a field goal.
Matt Barr, this will be from 20 yards. He's 3 out of 5 on the year so far. Perfect. Make it a 21-yard field goal by Matt Barr. So the Pittsburgh Steelers come up with 3 points out of that drive and lead the Bears 10-3 early in the 2nd period. Pittsburgh leading 10-3. Suey fading back to his 2-yard line. 10, 15, 20. Out to the 24, and we get a flag. Penalty marker on the play, and let's see what it's all about. Steelers are indicating that the flag is against the Bears. It's one thing you hate to see if your quarterback coming on the field is a penalty on that kickoff against your club.
Yeah.
Because it's bad field position is what it results in, a clip against the Bears.
You know, the Steelers have good specialty people, and they have excellent backup people who are the specialty team, and Dwayne Woodruff comes in sometimes in 3rd down. He's a fine defensive back, number 49, and he's the one that came in and made the stop on that play on Suey.
Personal foul, clipping, number 57, receiving team.
And I think we can pick that up.
Maybe we can catch him on the
upper right portion of your screen. See the clip, 57 there, Lee Kuntz. Half the distance to the goal, moves it back to the 11. So Phipps will have to move it from there. He's got Dave Williams and Walter Payton in the backfield, does Mr. Phipps. Payton gets the call. Driving tackle that time really moved him back. By Greenwood, number 68.
There's Terry. He's taking a rest, talking it over.
Interesting comment from Phipps, who was asked the 2 best pro football players he ever saw, and he said number 12 of the Pittsburgh Steelers and the guy wearing the CBS blazer up there in the booth. That's a nice compliment.
It is nice. I don't have my blazer on now, but did you mean me?
I think I did. I don't see anybody else around there. Even owns one.
You know, Walter ran into Noah Jackson that time as left guard. So Noah's got to get one step ahead here.
2nd and 7. He does run hard. Payton crosses the 15 out to the 16-yard line. Walter's approaching the 50-yard mark in the rushing department.
You know, it looked like Payton had a hole there, and Tom Beasley, number 65, moved in and did a good job.
Other scores throughout the NFL. Another touchdown for the Los Angeles Rams and an Elvis Peacock run. He scored both of their touchdowns. Saints got a field goal in front of Miami. And Cincinnati still leading Houston 7-0 on Jack Thompson's touchdown pass to Don Bass. 3rd down 3. Our score, Steelers 10 and the Bears 3. Chicago's ball from the 16-yard line. Phipps hitting Bassnagel for the first down at the 25. In front of J.T. Thomas. Franco Harris, one of the all-time greats in the National Football League. Players shaken up on that last play. Bear player. So we've got an official timeout on the field with 11 minutes and 4 seconds remaining in the first half of play. You know, talking about Franco Harris, he appears to be a certainty for the Professional Football Hall of Fame and is now the number 3 all-time rusher. And Theo Bell sitting it out. Isn't that tough on your helmet?
It sure is tough on your helmet. I don't think the helmet goes up.
Bassnagel was the Bear who was shaken up, but he walked off the field under his own power. 1st and 10 Bears. Payton trying to get outside and got maybe a yard. Mel Blunt made the stop. We get word from the bench. They're looking at Bassnagel's right shoulder. That's all that the Bears need is another injury to a wide receiver.
Well, the right tackle's coming around this time. Dennis Lick, number 70, is pulling. He tries to get out in front of the play and runs into a little bit of resistance right here. Suey's also having trouble with Robin Cole, but Blount comes up, makes the play, and it's tough to run outside on the Steelers, and Payton's success, I think, will be inside today, cut back inside.
Bassnagel is back in the lineup. Steelers go with a nickel defense, a 5th defensive back on 2nd and 9. Suey plows forward across the 30 out to the 31. Let's talk about this Steeler defense a little bit. How did you attack it when you were with the Cowboys?
Well, the big thing is you have to pick up their blitz. They like the blitz a lot, so if you're going to have some success throwing the football, you got to pick up the blitz. If you can pick up the blitz, you get them in some man-to-mans, you can throw the ball. Ideally, you like to run against them, but it's tough to run. We had some success running against them, but overall, the success we had was throwing the football. They're just tough against the run, and it's it's difficult, so you got to take what you can get. The passing game seems to be the best that you can do against the Steelers.
3rd down 5. Bears ball at their 31-yard line. Payton and Williams the setbacks. Phipps back to throw it. Completes it to Payton for the first down. Penalty marker thrown in the defensive backfield as Payton is dropped at the 37-yard line.
That was a late penalty there, so it looks like it might be against the Bears. Big Robin Earl looked a little bit guilty there.
Offensive pass interference against Chicago will wipe out the first down. Phipps thus far is 4 out of 6 for 44 yards. Bradshaw is getting a little thin on top, isn't he?
You know, talking, he doesn't have his toupee on now, does he?
Pass interference, number 81, offense.
That's the tight end, Robin Earl.
You know, as you mentioned before, how do you attack Pittsburgh? There's a statistic that's interesting. Last year in '79, there were only 2 teams that rushed for over 100 yards against Pittsburgh. So they are tough up front. They play that gap. See those guys? They're angled in here. Beasley and Furness, they got those bodies. They're playing a gap. They're trying to protect the gap so the linebackers have some freedom to roam and make the tackles.
Bears now have a 3rd down and 15 from their 21-yard line following the walk-off for offensive pass interference. Phipps under pressure throws the ball behind Dave Williams, the intended receiver, and the Bears will have to punt it away. Williams, a one-time Dallas draft choice, who went on to play in Canada. And Bob Parsons comes in to do the punting.
All those penalties kill you. The Bears have a first down. They're about the 34-yard line, 35-yard line. And the penalty sets them back. And now they're punting from the 20 and probably give Pittsburgh good field position.
Not much wind here. Nice kick by Parsons. Jim Smith fades back to his 28. Up to the 30, 35. Trying to get to the sidelines. And is dropped at the 38-yard line.
Excellent punt by Parsons.
And good coverage by the Bears special units. When we go back to play, the Steelers will have the ball. 1st and 10 at their 38.
29, so there was a lot of yardage gained by the fine punt and also the penalty by Chicago.
Bradshaw trying to get him revved up again. Hawthorne out the delay. Across the 30 out to the 33-yard line. Mac Hartenstein, number 73, in the stop. Of course, if Phipps continues to have problems, you might look for number 8 sitting on the Bear bench, Vince Evans.
Vince Evans came in last week against Minnesota. He had his moments. He had some tough moments also, but he threw about an 89-yard touchdown pass to Ricky Watts. So
he about beat the Cowboys last year, didn't he, in Dallas?
He did. He threw a couple of touchdown passes, and he's got a fine arm, and they're looking for a bright future for Vince.
Second down. Steelers need 5 for the first down from their 34. Bradshaw got all the time in the world and hits Jim Smith for the first down at the 45. Yeah, you give any quarterback that much time and he's going to hit one on you.
Well, the defense also, they had Allen Ellis was coming up into kind of a short area. He had help from Doug Plank deep, but Bradshaw had so much time that Smith, who was covered initially, was able just to find an open area over there. And you give someone that much time with a good receiver like Smith, he's going to find some room, and Bradshaw will get it out to him.
Bradshaw will sing the praises of this young man, I'll tell you. Even though they're missing stalwarts, Smith, former Michigan star, is an outstanding wide receiver, capable of starting for most teams. 1st and 10 from the 45. Again, a lot of time. And Bradshaw overthrows Lynn Swan, the intended receiver, down at the 35-yard line. Fensick back there defending.
Fensick that time had a beat on Swan. He was looking at Swan, looking for the ball to come in there, and he didn't realize it was overthrown because it hit him right in the shoulders.
Bradshaw is now 5 out of 9 for 87 yards. Terry has won more league titles than any quarterback except Bart Starr, who won 5. Bradshaw's won 4.
He's a big play guy, Frank. He can make the big plays.
Second and 10.
He's got a little audible going here.
Hawthorne after the 48-yard line.
Yeah, a second 10 play on there, and he must have seen an overshift in the Bear line because he ran a trap on second 10, thought he had an opening there. Bears.
Tom Hicks and Alan Page collaborating on the stop. That's Hawthorne, the ball carrier, who is shaken up on the play.
It's a ball hit him in the stomach there. It looks like he lost a little wind.
I guess that happens to most ball carriers and quarterbacks sooner or later. That could be very painful. Timeout here at Three Rivers Stadium in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, with the Steelers leading the Bears in the second period.
Can't wait to show you my new car. A solid, new 1981 Bartell.
But that's the new 81 Cutlass Supreme.
Sure, Oldsmobile had it built, but it's me. Solid. Sound good? Great styling, and I even got a diesel for solid economy. I tell you, this car is me.
We've had one built for you.
Bartell.
Cutlass Supreme.
Oldsmobile.
The world's most advanced twin-blade razors are only as careful. Gotcha. as you are. The Norelco rechargeable rotary razor has 36 surgical steel blades, carefully protected by 3 floating heads, and a unique shaving angle for a very close shave wherever you are, without a nick or a cut. The choice is yours. The close, careful Norelco rechargeable rotary razor, or 2 blades, and gotcha.
Sunday, the NFL Today kicks off another wild, unpredictable afternoon of football. Check local listings for the game and time in your area on CBS Sports.
3rd and 8 for the Pittsburgh Steelers at their 48. The venerable Rocky Blyer, number 20, has replaced Hawthorne, who seemed to be all right. Bradshaw tried to dial Smith, and he gets him at the 32-yard line. Jim Smith with a big catch and a big first down.
What a great play there. That's football. That was a fine play. He had Finsick on him, and also Winford Gaines came in on 3rd down for Chicago, so they had an extra back in there, and watch Smith catch it in between both of them. Good concentration. He knew Finsick was going to hit him, but he still hung on to the football, and he beat Gaines on the play.
The kind of receiver you got to love. Steelers drive it again, this time at the Bear 32-yard line. Short count play. Bradshaw comes back. Good protection. Randy Grossman, the tight end, at the 26-yard line. Alan Ellis, number 48, in the stop. Keep in mind the Bears have the number 2 defense in the National Football Conference.
You know, Grossman has really been a plus for the Steelers. They've had Benny Cunningham has been hurt off and on. He's an excellent athlete. He's big, but he's been hurt off and on. Every time Grossman's come in, whether it's been in a Super Bowl or regular season game, he's made big plays after big plays. He'll catch the short ones. He can also get deep over the middle. He's an excellent receiver for a tight end, and he's done a good job replacing Cunningham.
2nd and 4 from the 26. Blyer on the reverse to Lynn Swan. And Swan has no place to go as he's dragged down by Gary Campbell, number 59.
You know, Campbell must have seen a key. He must have read a key. He might have seen a guard pulling towards him, and he just didn't move. Blyer handed off. Swan coming around, and Campbell just stayed home. He stayed right where he's supposed to be and created the problem on the play.
Sweet tackle for Campbell, who was originally a draft choice several years ago of the Pittsburgh Steelers and was released as a non-prospect by the Steelers. Eventually gravitated to the Bears.
There's a big 3rd and 8. They bring in an extra receiver here. Calvin Sweeney's in on the left side, and Swan and Smith are on the right side.
Ball at the Bear 29. Bradshaw, good protection.
There it is.
Touchdown. Jim Smith with his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. He just split that secondary.
And Bradshaw's running down there to shake his hand. I don't blame him. He ought to be down there shaking his hand. Smith has beat him to the outside. This time he makes good, quick moves, gets ahead of Winford Gaines, beats everybody, gets deep, and Finsick is also a step behind. He catches the ball in the middle. Good throw, right on the money. Touchdown.
Barr's on to try the extra point. And the Steelers appear to be rolling after that early turnover. That makes it a 17-3 game. Take another look from the end zone.
Yeah, here's Bradshaw. He's going back. He's looking the whole field. Then he's coming back. He's looking to the left, and he comes back to the right to Smith, and Smith is down the middle, and he's got him beat. Good play, good move. He stutter stepped right at the line of scrimmage on Gaines, though, and that's what got him free. And with that stutter step, he also broke to the inside, and Gaines was trailing him all the way.
Jim Smith getting his big opportunity with Stallworth on the injured list. Stallworth is sidelined with a cracked shin bone and is on the 4-week list. But Smith is a draft pick out of the University of Michigan who has done extremely well for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Kick return guy and backup wide receiver and a good man to have in your club. 2 touchdowns for Smith this afternoon.
He's got a touchdown pass.
It's the first time that Smith has scored 2 touchdowns in a single game for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So it's got to be an exceptionally big thrill for him. So the Steelers are firmly in command now. 7 in the first period, 10 here in the second, which has 5 minutes and 5 seconds remaining, and a 17-3 advantage over the Bears. And again, you see how important that penalty was where the Bears missed the first down to keep their drive going. They gave the ball up, and the Steelers stuffed it right down their throat. Suey out to the 20, and then driven back.
Yeah, there's Jim Smith. Before the game, I was asking Terry, with Stallworth out of there, could Smith do the job?
Jim Smith is as capable. I know that's hard to believe for the viewing audience, but here's a kid that has all the ability and the speed and the strength. He's stronger than John. Has as good a leaping ability, and we have not altered our passing attack whatsoever. I believe firmly if you work on something from July to right now, people you put in there are supposed to take up the slack, and I'm not going to change my passing attack because we have a guy out. So they know this. Smith knows it. Sweeney knows that if they're open, I'm going to try to get the ball to them. I don't care who they are. And so we haven't altered it one bit.
Walter Payton on the receiving end of that pass from Mike Phipps, picking up a Bear first down at the 39-yard line. You feel the Bear strategy is going to be to throw to the backs today?
Well, we were talking about Smith being a fine receiver, and of course Walter Payton's a great receiver. And yes, Frank, Myers, their offensive coordinator, mentioned that they would throw to the backs more often today, and Walter Payton is an excellent receiver. If he can get the ball, get a little maneuvering room like he did then, he's going to hurt that Steeler defense.
Payton it is with Noah Jackson as his escort, but not much there. Just couldn't quite get to the corner. Jack Lambert, number 58. And Jack Ham also over there. Mike Phipps, 5 out of 8 so far, total of 62 yards in the afternoon.
You know, Pittsburgh has given up 3 yards on a rushing play and 6 yards in a passing play. So on first down, a short pass, 5 or 6 yards, your odds are better to throw the football, and it's a good piece of strategy.
Second down, 11. Bears from their 39-yard line. High formation, Suey and Payton behind Phipps. Gets it away, incomplete. Intended for Scott at the 45-yard line. Mike Phipps made his NFL debut against the Pittsburgh Steelers here at Three Rivers Stadium as a member of the Cleveland Browns his rookie year. There's the play being sent in. They're utilizing the wide receivers, Ricky Watts in this case, number 80. So it'll be a 3rd and 11 upcoming for the Bears. They got to get something going offensively here.
They do. It's the Steelers are really shifting people in and out. They've got the 3-man rush this time with 4 linebackers. They've got a blitz look right now. Everybody's up close to the ball, but they're coming out of it. So they fake the blitz.
Phipps going long for Watts. Couldn't find it.
He was well covered by Ron Johnson. Also, J.T. Thomas was over there. So it would have had to been an unusual throw and an unusual catch because he was well covered inside and outside that time. He's going deep. He's going for it all. Johnson's got him to the outside. J.T. Thomas is in there. Casey breaks back to the middle, and the ball's thrown outside, and Johnson almost made an interception.
Parsons in to do the punting for the Bears. He's been doing a lot of that so far this afternoon. And that man, Jim Smith, is deep. Fine punt by Parsons. Drives Smith back to the 11. We get a flag.
Yeah, there's a flag down that time.
Smith dancing his way out to the 24-yard line. We had a marker on the play with 3 minutes and 30 seconds left to play in the first half.
I think Dwayne Woodworth was pushing someone behind, number 49. You're not allowed to do that.
Is that right?
Yep. It's a new rule they put in 34 years ago.
Illegal use of the hands is the indication given by the referee against the Pittsburgh Steelers. And we'll get the official call here after the referee, Jerry Seaman, steps off the yardage, which will put the ball back at the 10.
illegal use of hands. Number 44, receiving team.
That's Frank Pollard, number 44.
Pollard.
Rookie from Baylor. There's Mean Joe Green, who caught the flu bug this week. Missed practice a couple of days. They said he lost 5 pounds, still rather weak, but still a pretty darn good football player. First and 10 for the Steelers at their 10-yard line. Bears just haven't been able to stop him. Bradshaw's had all day to throw the ball. That could have been disaster. A bullet right at Fensick.
I don't think he even saw Fensick. Fensick was kind of sneaking there behind the line of scrimmage and into a short area, probably playing the a screen pass, and Bradshaw drilled it downfield, and the Fensick jumped up and almost intercepted it.
You know, the Bears say that their duo back there, Fensick and Plank, is equal or better than the Cowboys' great duo of years gone by of Waters and Harris.
Well, there's a lot of fine duos back in the secondary of some teams, and Fensick and Plank can hang in there with the best of them.
Second and 10. Bradshaw 8 out of 13. Big hole open up the middle. That's out to the 21-yard line, and really motoring through there is Russell Davis, number 45, who is the leading ground gainer for the Steelers during preseason. Second-year man and missed virtually all of last year with injuries. First down, Pittsburgh at the 21-yard line.
That was an excellent call on second down. It was just a trap, second and 10, and they got enough for the first down.
Hawthorne, you'll recall, was shaken up in the last series of downs. So he's getting the rest. And so is Franco Harris. Got Rocky Blyer and Davis in there right now. There's the time remaining in the first half of play with the Steelers firmly in command, 17-3.
You know, the inside handoff that time into the middle of that line, that Steeler offensive line has really been something special. They got a bunch of weightlifters there, including Mike Webster, who probably leads the weightlifting on the team, and his arms are bigger than my legs. They got a fine interior line, and John Cole was out with Ted Peterson in there at left tackle. Other than that, the line's intact, and it's a good one.
Second and 8. Webster won the NFL's strongest man contest on CBS earlier this year.
Oh!
Intercepted over the middle. Gary Campbell down to the 25 and out of bounds at the 23-yard line. That could be a very, very important play for the Chicago Bears, who needed something big to happen to get back in this game.
He's back here now. He sees Swan well covered, but he throws it sidearm right here. Right, watch him. He throws it sidearm, loses, didn't see Campbell. Campbell makes a nice play, steps in front of Cunningham, and there he goes.
If you had driven...
Frank Lieber along with Roger Staubach at Three Rivers Stadium in Pittsburgh. 1:55 left to play in the first half. And Pittsburgh leading it 17-3, but the Bears have just had opportunity knocked for them in the face of that Gary Campbell interception, the second turnover allowed by the Steelers today. And Chicago has a first down at the 19-yard line.
Oh, it's a critical series for Chicago. It's before the half. They'd like to get some momentum going, and here they are on the 20-yard line. They need a score. Terry's been over there shaking his head, Frank. Talking to... It was kind of a late decision. He threw it sidearm, and Campbell was right there, so it's given the Bears a good opportunity.
Walter Payton fumbled it, picked it up. Fumbled it again. Who got it? Pittsburgh recovers. Payton fumbled it twice on the same play. Look at Bradshaw. He's pumped up and ready to go.
Well, he drops the ball here. He doesn't quite have possession. Picks it back up. Drops it again. Of course, Cole is responsible for stripping it. And in comes...
Looks like number 64.
Furness. Big Furness. Steve Furness steps in and recovers the fumble. Bradshaw went on the field excited. And when a quarterback has a turnover, makes a mistake, you're down on yourself. You don't want to cause the touchdown for the other team. And when you get it back, it's... you're rejuvenated, so this will be interesting. There's still enough time to score before the half. They got the 2-minute offense going right now. Big hole. Rocky Blyer out across the 40 to the 45.
Bears obviously looking for the pass, and the Steelers crossed him up.
That's excellent play with 3 timeouts left. There's enough time. They've had a second play called. I don't know why they don't use a timeout here. They've got enough of them left, but they're going with the second play. It was called in the huddle.
Steelers 1st and 10 at their 45. The Bears making a blitz.
They're coming.
And they come.
They're coming. Oh, are they coming? They had Plank was up in the line, and they had 8 people coming with man-to-man coverage downfield.
Steelers call time to stop the clock now. Preserve the time remaining, 1 minute and 15 seconds. Loss of 8 yards in the play. It'll be 2nd and 18 from back at the 38-yard line. And Bradshaw will come over and have a word or two with Chuck Noll and company. You're talking about Noll getting hot at Bradshaw last week. You and Landry ever have any disagreements on the sideline?
Sure. We've had a few.
And he knocked down dragouts?
Well, when you have not knocked down dragouts, but we've had a few disagreements. You have.
How many did you win?
Well, I think I'm 0 for about 8. But the main thing, Noll's a competitor, Bradshaw's a competitor. They can have a temper tantrum here and there if a mistake is made. It's forgotten, though. That's the class of a relationship between a quarterback and a coach. It's not lasting. It's very quick. It's spontaneous, and it's forgotten. You know, the big thing today, though, that it really has worked against Chicago. They've recovered 2 turnovers, and bam, they've given them right back
on the next play.
On the next play, and they were looking to get some turnovers from Pittsburgh. They got a fumble early, the interception. And sure enough, on the next play, they've given the ball up themselves. So he's been an artist. He can come up with those second 20 plays, and he's been excellent in the 2-minute period. He can come up with the big plays, and now he needs one.
2nd and 17. Bradshaw floats it over the middle. Cunningham, the tight end, makes the grab. He's down at the 28-yard line of the Chicago Bears. Clock is still moving.
They have 2 timeouts left. That clock's moving. I would think they want to regroup with the timeout, but they're not going to do it. They're going to go. They had 2 in the huddle, and they're going to run the second one.
Flag down as Bradshaw pumps it once and then is decked. Back at the 38-yard line.
Well, they're coming again. That time it was Finsick. The last time it was Plank that was up there with the blitz. This time they had Finsick up there. One time was a weak safety. This time was a strong safety.
It may have been wise, as you suggested, for him to call the timeout. Penalty was against the Bears. Offside.
Oh, that's a big break there.
Big Mike Webster. Look at those arms of that guy.
Man.
That's unbelievable.
Looks like he's got his legs up in the air.
Encroachment, number 72, defense.
That'll make it 1st and 5 at the 24. You and Bradshaw talked about the 2-minute drill in the past, comparing notes.
Well, we've discussed it. And he's had play, so he'll.
That's for Smith.
Look at that.
Touchdown. Jim Smith, 3 touchdowns in the first half.
What can you say about that, Frank? That's unbelievable. Smith is having. This is close. This is close. You keep an eye on both feet right there. There's 1. There's 2. If he had control of the ball. Good camera work there also. It looked good call by the referees, and Smith cradled that ball in there. He looked it in, and Bradshaw floated it over, and it was a perfect play. And the Steelers now are in command.
You can say that again. Matt Barr with the extra point try.
Minute and 55 to go. The Bears are on their 20. They go and score, make it 17-10. The turnover causes a 24-3 score, and it happens that fast.
Yeah, 14-point swing, you might say. And there's the man who's been responsible for 18 of the Steelers' points this afternoon, Jim Smith.
Well, he's going to get John Stallworth well quick.
That has a tendency to heal people, doesn't it?
Steelers are using 3 wide receivers in a lot of situations, and when Stallworth's back, you got Smith, Swan, and Stallworth. Pretty tough to defense. When you got a guy like Bradshaw throwing to him.
So the Steelers with a 24-3 advantage with 36 seconds left to play in the first half. Bears pass defense coming into this game, one of the best in the league, and Bradshaw has pretty well shredded them. 10 out of 16 for 200 yards in the first half. Suey is the deep man. Both teams are hurting in the kick return department because of injuries. Suey at the 8-yard line. Out across the 20, 25, 30. Picking his way upfield to the 38-yard line is Matt Suey. Craig Wolfley, number 73, makes the stop for the Steelers. That's the time that the Bears have to work with. Phipps is 5 out of 10 for 62. How do you assess this Bear quarterback situation?
Well, of course, Phipps stepped in last year and was responsible for an 8-game winning streak or a 9-game winning streak.
7 out of 8 at the end there.
Right towards the end, and he's given him stability there. Of course, Vince Evans played well last year, and then he had the sickness problem, and Phipps stepped in and did the job. So right now it's back and forth. So far, Phipps has had his problems, and you might see Vince Evans in the second half. All you can do is try to get a field goal here, get a big play, pass play, and
Williams on the receiving end of that pass out to the 39-yard line.
Taken out of bounds by...
They apparently ruled he was stopped standing up before he went out of bounds.
I'd go ahead and stop it, try to get a play over the middle. That's a little bit late in stopping it now. Cost them about 10 seconds, but they still have a chance to get a shot over the middle somewhere for a long field goal.
Let me put you on the spot here. How good a quarterback is Mike Phipps? Your opinion?
Well, that's unfair. Mike has had his moments in the NFL. He's been at it 11 years. He's had some big games. He hasn't got over the hump where he's been a consistent quarterback. He's moved. Started out with Cleveland and has been to a couple of teams now with Chicago, and he hasn't got over that hump into the area of a consistent quarterback. But last year he showed he can win. And this year they're off, in tough shape, and Phipps has taken part of that criticism. So
now, last week, though, Armstrong pulled him in the first period. That's happened to you, as I recall, way back near the start of your career. That's got to be a little demoralizing to a quarterback.
Well, I don't understand why they pulled him last week and that quickly in the game. But I'm not the coach, and that is difficult because there's many games where you might have 3 quarters where you're not playing well, but you can turn around that 4th quarter. It's not like a baseball pitcher. A quarterback can still things around in a football game, and evidently last week the chemistry was there to get Evans in the game, but I'm sure it hurt Phipps. I think it probably hurt his morale. But today it hasn't been Mike Phipps. He's played fairly well. It's been the Bradshaw to Jim Smith combination has been the game against a supposedly very strong Bear defense.
And, of course, a couple of big turnovers on the part of the Bears at most inopportune times. Right. Steelers have turned it over twice, but it really hasn't hurt them. 12 seconds left to play in the half. 2nd and 8. Bears from their 39-yard line. Phipps flushed out of the pocket. Intended for Watts at the Steeler 43-yard line. Going to run the clock down to 5 seconds. Ricky Watts, who's operating with a bum ankle, which he aggravated just prior to the game. The year that Walter Payton came up, Cowboys had a chance to draft Payton. They picked ahead of the Bears. That would have been nice to operate in that backfield, wouldn't it?
Well, that was an interesting year. That was when Barkowski, they traded draft choices between Baltimore and Atlanta. Atlanta took Barkowski, and the Cowboys took Randy White. Payton was actually drafted fourth. Ken Huff was picked before him by Baltimore.
Whatever happened to him? On 3rd and 8, Phipps over the middle, intended for Boschnagel at the 35-yard line. 1 second. So we'll have time for one more play. Speaking of Payton, too, Walter needs 62 yards today rushing to move past Leroy Kelly into 7th place in NFL history. He has 39 yards in 10 carries. Most of that came in the first period. In the second quarter, Bears haven't had the football that much. Been 1-2-3 punt.
Talked about Pittsburgh being thrown on. But, you know, one thing that sometimes you forget, that Pittsburgh's offense has been so good, they've got ahead of teams, and the other teams have had to throw on them. So they can work both ways, and the secondary of Pittsburgh is not as vulnerable as the statistics indicate.
A rainbow downfield, thrown up for grabs and intercepted as the half ends by Mike Wagner, number 23. So the Steelers bounce back from their disappointing loss at the hands of Cincinnati with a very impressive first half. Here at Three Rivers Stadium in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. 7 points in the first period, 17 in the second. And they lead it by a score of 24-3.
Well, a little luck, and Chicago could be in better shape. Those turnovers that they recovered and again gave up the Pittsburgh capitalized on both Chicago turnovers. They went in and scored, and that's been the difference in the game. Other than that, it could have been a tight first half. So the Bears, the man coming off the field. He's fired 3 big ones to Jim Smith.
Doesn't look like the ribs are bothering him whatsoever, and that flak jacket certainly doesn't seem to restrain him at all, does it?
No, he's throwing well, and he's moving well. And of course, Jim Smith has been open, long, short,
everywhere,
and he's got everything thrown to him.
Capacity crowd of 54,000 on hand at Three Rivers Stadium in Pittsburgh, watching the Bears and the Steelers do battle in this NFC interconference game. Have to go back to 1971 to find the last time that the Steelers lost to an NFC team here at Three Rivers Stadium in Pittsburgh. Their motto, of course, this year, the Steelers, is one for the thumb. In 1981, they're looking for yet one more Super Bowl ring. Try to become the first team to win 3 straight Super Bowls. 100 yards working against, up until this game, the #1 pass defense in the National Football Conference, that of the Chicago Bears. 3 touchdown passes in the first half, all to Smith. They haven't run the football much. That's Franco Harris. That's only his 4th carry of the afternoon. Picked up 10 yards and 3 carries in the first half.
But Tom Hicks did exactly what a middle linebacker's got to do, fill that middle. And he popped Franco right at the line of scrimmage.
No gain on the play. It is 2nd down 10. Smith wide to the left side. Lynn Swan to the right. Can you believe the Steelers throwing for 200 yards? And Swan hasn't caught a pass. Here's Harris. Big hole. Across the 50 into Bear territory to the 47-yard line. Great move to the inside by Franco Harris. Walter Payton has had a tough first half. Of course, that's as many yards as he gained rushing last week in the entire game against Minnesota. That was on 16 carries. Banasak and John Kolb, who's sitting this one out with an injury. On the Steeler bench, not too concerned right now the way things have been going. 1st and 10, Steelers at the 47. Harris with his 3rd straight carry lost the ball, but I believe the Steelers got it back. Pittsburgh recovered at the 48-yard line for a loss of 1. I guess they want to give Franco some work here. 3 carries in a row.
Watch Mike Webster here. Chicago's overshifted to the right. He's blocking an Alan Page, and then he moves over to try to block Jim Osborne. His assignment was to kind of cut off anything to the inside, any pursuit to the other side, and Webster is probably one of the, he's rated right up there as, if he's not the finest, he's close to one of the finest centers in the National Football League.
2nd and 11. Steelers at the 48-yard line of the Chicago Bears. Steelers seem determined now to run the football on Chicago after passing it so well in the first half. And again, it's Franco Harris with his 4th straight carry to start the second half after carrying only 3 times in the first half. Down to the 41. Speaking of the All-Pro center Mike Webster.
Well, here's Mike again. He's, of course, his job is different. He's after the middle linebacker this time. Based on the type of defense, he just seals him off, prevents him from getting into the play, and he does an excellent job. He's got enough quickness where he can seal people off, seal linebackers, and also block down. He's got enough strength to block back on the big tackles as well as sealing off the quick linebackers.
3rd and 4. Well, the Steelers with the ball at the 41-yard line, and the Chicago Bears going to call a timeout and attempt to regroup, as the Steelers have moved right down the field after taking that opening kickoff. Pollard bringing it out to the 40-yard line. Timeout here at Pittsburgh, with the Steelers leading 24-3.
In an independent test,
over 1,000 different people were asked,
which team? Ball at the Bear 41-yard line. Bradshaw's got both of his wide receivers off to the left side. Lynn Swan and Jim Smith. Franco Harris and Greg Hawthorne, the setbacks. This will be his first pass of the second half. He gets it away, but Harris can't hold it. Fourth down.
That time, Chicago faked the blitz. The linebackers came up and went back, and Gary Campbell was a step behind Franco that time. Of course, the ball was a little bit too far out in front and too low. But Bradshaw was trying to pick up the first down, go to his back. In that case, it was Franco Harris.
They had to wake him up on the bench. Craig Colquitt did not punt at all in the first half. Thought he's going to have the day off the way the Steeler offense been moving the ball. Vaughn Lusby, who was just signed this week by the Bears, is the defense standing back on the 10-yard line. Pretty good rush on Colquitt, but he gets it away, angles it toward the near sideline. Lusby makes the catch at the 11. And the Bears have put it in play from there. First and 10, Chicago Bears.
10-yard line.
Officials will mark it at the 10-yard line. The Bears trail it 24-3, and they need to get something going at the start of the second half. Pitts was 6 out of 14 for 64 yards in the first half. He was sacked twice and one intercepted. Matt Suey picked up at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play.
Right. Yeah, Jack Ham was in on that play, and Robin Earl was trying to turn him out, block on him, and Ham held his ground. Ham is just a tremendous linebacker. He was hurt last year towards the end of the year. He's come back strong this year. He's excellent against the pass, and he's strong enough against the run, and he does not get intimidated by big Robin Earl and makes the play.
Second and 10. Raschnagel to the left side. It's like Chris Haynes is flanked to the right this time as Phipps goes back to throw it. Payton at the 5, 10, 15. Up to the 19-yard line. Like somebody got him in the back there, which disturbed him a little.
That was a good play. I think Chicago ought to try a little bit more of the quick flare, the quick screen out, give Payton some running room, let him run with the football. This time Phipps is looking downfield, but he has a play designed over to Walter Payton. Robin Cole comes up, but Payton gets away from Cole, and then Robin Earl is downfield blocking on a couple of people, so it took Mel Blount to make the stop. But Payton has the freedom out there. He can do a lot with it.
Third down. Bears still need one for the first down at the 19.
He's got it.
Phipps and the quarterback sneak across the 20-yard line, picks up the first down. Well, you're down 24-3 at the start of the second half. I guess you don't necessarily come out throwing, do you?
Well,
the two clubs that most people figured at the start of the season would fight it out for the NFC Central. But Detroit, quite obviously, has gotten into the act. Nice fake to Payton. Looking long, and then elected to go to the short man, Suey, at the 23-yard line.
Well, in this particular defense, Cole is just coming across the line. He's responsible for the back. He's chasing him downfield. He's looking back. He's still in his zone defense, though. And he's got help out here by Blunt. You can't see, but the ball's thrown short. It would have been about a 6 or 7 yard gain. And
that'll set up a second and 10. There's Chuck Noll, the head coach, 48 years old, 12th year, 4 Super Bowl victories, twice as many as any other coach in the National Football League.
Got Tays in there now, replace Cole in a passing situation.
Second and 10. Here come the Steelers. Phipps trying to get away, and the play's been whistled in. That's the old in the grass throw.
course, they blow the whistle when they feel the quarterback is down, and some of the referees are blowing it quicker than the others. Overall, the rule is good if it's handled properly and the referee has a good judgment. Sometimes it's blown too quickly, and it really is a disadvantage to the scrambling or the quarterbacks that can move around and make the big play.
You know what Lambert says? They ought to put skirts on quarterbacks next.
Yeah, Lambert has said a few things.
Third down at 19. That's the third time the Pips have been trapped. Nice catch by Baschnagel. That's a first down at the 32.
Yeah, when you hear the word zone defense, all it is people going back to their areas of responsibility. They've got an area. They're looking at the quarterback. They're looking. Lambert's just a little bit short that time. So is Tays, and the ball's thrown right over the linebackers in that hole between the linebackers and the secondary. Great throw by Phipps and a nice catch by Baschnagel.
Terry Bradshaw looking on. A little crick at his neck there.
He's not real excited right now.
No. Those aches and pains, I'm sure those ribs feel a lot better, though, when you're leading 24-3. First and 10. That was a big play by Phipps. And by Baschnagel. A fumble. Who got it? Pittsburgh has recovered at the 32-yard line. Peyton losing his second fumble of the afternoon.
Yeah, they're having some trouble.
Jack Ham, number 59, on the recovery.
Watch this. The problem begins right here at the handoff. Peyton doesn't have the ball, or he's either grabbing for it. He just doesn't get the handoff. The ball squirts loose, and Pittsburgh has got another turnover.
Now it's the third time the Bears have given it away. What do they say against the good football teams? You just don't make mistakes like that.
Well, the last time they gave it away, Pittsburgh took advantage of it. Now we have a baseball score here.
All right, the Yankees' magic number coming in was 3. So by that victory, they would reduce it to 2. Should Baltimore lose, it'll be down to 1. First and 10. Steelers with excellent field position after the fumble recovery at the 33. Nice fake to Franco Harris. Bradshaw trying to find Lynn Swan.
Vincent's going to get the flag on him.
Trailing him was Finsick. Blank was also down there. Pass interference. Looks to be the call. Oh, he steps up here nice, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. He drills it too. He throws that thing on a string. But they're gonna evidently Swan pushed off on Finsick, and they're gonna give that penalty to Lynn Swan and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Offensive pass interference.
That's got to be a big break for the Chicago Bears, who need something good to happen for them. Swan needs one more touchdown pass to equal Buddy Dial's all-time team record of 41.
Pass interference, number 88, offense. God.
You know, the receivers have a lot more freedom downfield. That's why you see a lot of yardage in the passing game. Once they get past 5 yards, they can't be hit, but they also cannot push the defenders. It's like playing basketball, guarding a guy in basketball. They cannot charge into him. In that case, Swan pushed off Finsick and got called for it.
Ball is back at the 42. Now it's a first and 20. Franco Harris.
Oh, great cut, great cut.
Down to 25 and inside the 20-yard line. Alan Page finally ran him down. Franco Harris, who this season passed Jim Taylor, and is now the number 3 all-time rusher in the National Football League.
This is just a toss to the left side, to the weak side. It's away from the tight end. He's got blocking. Greg Hawthorne's out in front of him. He's got Ray Penny, number 74, over there. And he cuts back against the flow. And a big man like that runs that smooth is awesome. He's got off to a little bit of a slow start this year, but last week he showed some signs. He made a couple nice long runs, and today he's running well again.
He has had 7 1,000-yard rushing seasons. First down from the 18. They're going to give Franco some work after he carried for just 3 times for 10 yards in the first half. He has now carried 6 times here in the second half and has picked up a total of 58 yards rushing. and is suddenly catapulted to the status of the leading rusher in the football game.
Well, Franco is not a scat back. He's not a scat back by any means, but he's very fast for a big man. He also keeps those feet close to the ground. He's got good balance, and he runs with power also. And those ingredients have made him, I guess, the third leading rusher of all time.
Second down, 8. Bradshaw caught from behind as he tried to move it outside. And there's Jerry Muckenstern, number 58.
There was a foul up there, Frank. Something went awry, and Bradshaw got caught missing the handoff, but also caught Chicago in a blitz. Muckenstern was in there on the blitz, and Terry's saying to somebody, what went wrong there? Was it me, or who did it? Muckenstern, number 58, was coming across in the blitz, and he caught Pittsburgh in a missed assignment. No one touched him.
Third down. Steelers need 14 for the first down. They've got 3 wide receivers in there. Calvin Sweeney, number 85, has replaced the tight end Grossman. Bradshaw back to throw it. Protection is good. Lynn Swan out of bounds at the 6-yard line. First down. That's his first catch of the day.
You know, you got Vaughn Lusby's in the game. He's right over Swan. He's hitting him in that 5-yard area. But Swan, once he gets past that 5 yards, it's free game, and he breaks off of Lusby about 12 to 15 yards downfield, and Bradshaw has enough time, gets it out in front, and it's a fine football play.
Lusby, who just joined the Bears this week, is being utilized not only as a punt returner, but also as a nickel back, a 5th defensive back in passing situations. It is first and goal to go from the 6-yard line.
Well, Bradshaw's made the big plays all day. That's another example of a fine receiver and a quarterback at work.
Greg Hawthorne cuts back inside, drives for the goal line, and is stopped at the 3, made to the 2-yard line. Again, Muckenstern, number 58, on the tackle for the Bears.
You know something that's interesting?
What?
When Swan is a single receiver out away from the other wide receiver, he's always on the right side. So
why is that?
Terry Schmidt, that's the way Pittsburgh does it. He could be the split end or the flanker, but he's always on the right side. Now, if they have 2 wide receivers, in that case, he was over on the left side. That's the only time he's on the left side, when he's on the other side with Jim Smith or Stallworth is ever in there.
Second and goal from the 2-yard line. Bradshaw rolling out. Touchdown!
Look at that.
Benny Cunningham, the tight end.
Look at that.
Touchdown passes for Terry Bradshaw. 3 to Smith, now this one to Cunningham.
So Bradshaw's taken inside. He has...
Is this an option?
No, he has Grossman inside. He's got Cunningham back to the corner, but he's covered right there. He's covered. Terry Schmidt is back there, but again, with his agility and his movement, he let Cunningham get open, and it's a good play on Bradshaw's part, and also Cunningham finding the open area.
Matt Barr tacks on the extra point with 5 minutes and 38 seconds left to play in the 3rd period. 31 to 3.
Watch Cunningham's going to the corner right now. He's looking for him right now, but here's Terry Schmidt coming in the way. But again, he's got the power to straight arm right there, stay on his feet, get rid of the ball, and it's a touchdown. Not bad.
And again, we'll remind you that it's against the #1 pass defense in the NFC, which obviously won't be that way when the statistics come out next week. Matt Suey on the run back for the Bears takes it out to the 23-yard line.
You know, statistics are interesting, but sometimes they don't really tell the story. Pittsburgh had more turnovers than any team in the league last year, 52. They've got 11 this year. The reason they overcome turnovers, they have big play people. They've got the quarterback, Bradshaw, who can make the big plays. They've got the wide receivers. They can turn the ball over. But I'll tell you, they can make up for that mistake just as quick as anybody by hitting the big play also. And they've done it time and time again. Today's been a good example of it.
They've lost the ball twice this afternoon, giving them 13 turnovers on the year. But on both occasions, they got it back on the very next play.
They took advantage of it.
Mike Phipps throws to Payton. Walter Payton out to the 25. I think he's having a tough time hanging on to the football. fumbled twice. You want to make sure that it didn't get away that time. Donnie Shell, number 31 in the stop. For some of you along the way, we'll be leaving this football game shortly to pick up in progress the Detroit-Minnesota game up at Pontiac.
You know, Jack Lambert's in there. Rocky Bleier had an interesting story about Lambert. Lambert's mean. I asked Rocky what he meant. He said, well, he likes to inflict a lot of pain. He likes to hit hard, and that's only when he's out in the date.
Payton. A bit of running room for Walter Payton, who takes it out to the 39-yard line.
Stopped by Winston.
You know, I used to look over at Lambert, and he didn't have those teeth. Well, I tell you, I used to get scared. He used to wear those teeth in a game, but he lost them one game. You know where they found them? In the calf of a running back.
39.
I believe it. Does he bite?
Well, he can't now without his teeth.
The Butkus used to have
But I
his teeth.
tell you, he's a leader, and he is tough.
1st and 10. Bears with the football at their 40-yard line, trailing 31-3, and it doesn't look bright for Chicago. Clips go to the short passing game and pick it up 8 or 10 yards at a clip here. Suey on the receiving end of that pass, taking it out to the 47-yard line as the clock continues to move. 3.5 minutes remaining in the third period of play.
Of course, hey, there's Stout. He could break a record today.
That's right. We mentioned earlier, he has been on this club 4 years, has qualified for the pension, and has never played in a regular or postseason game. Somebody better remind you that you got to play with a helmet. Steelers doing a good job of jamming up the line of scrimmage.
Stopped by Beasley.
Suey having his problems. All right, Cliff, don't get nervous.
Loss of 2. 3rd down.
Needs a haircut, I think. You think he feels the pressure, huh? Needs a haircut, you think?
You know, I tell you, I put Lambert, we were talking about Lambert a few minutes ago, into the category of a Dick Butkus, who was a great middle linebacker for the Chicago Bears and is now in the Hall of Fame.
3rd down, 3. Bears at their 46-yard line, trying to keep this drive going.
They're taking the blitz this time. Oop.
Payton almost lost it. Lambert almost took it away from Payton.
Well, Lambert is excellent against the run, but they've got a lot. He's in there on 3rd downs. He also takes people man-to-man, and this time he's got Payton man-to-man in the pass defense. Payton pushes off here, 5 yards. They're okay. The ball's thrown behind, though. A good throw, and Payton would have had it, but Lambert still was on the man, and taking Walter Payton man-to-man shows you have enough confidence in your middle linebacker to do the job.
4th and 3. Smith back to receive the punt of Parsons.
20 play.
Jim Smith at the 20 and upended at that point. Fine job by Chris Haynes, number 83, the Bear wide receiver and former Notre Damer. So the Steelers will go to the attack, and Cliff Stout will get his big opportunity. We'll be back right after this. All peaches and cream on the sidelines between Terry Bradshaw and Chuck Noll this week. 4 touchdown passes, and Bradshaw's going to get the rest of the day off.
He looks like a Trappist monk from behind. Not many Trappist monks that could throw like him, though.
Cliff Stout playing in his first regular season game ever after qualifying for his NFL pension last week. Handing off to Harris, who continues to run strong. Franco is out to the 28-yard line. Kid's doing all right. You got a guy like Harris to hand it off to.
Well, I tell you, he's got to be nervous. This is his first game, and they think a lot of Stout. He did a good job in preseason this year. He's big. He's
Come
got
on,
a good arm.
He's nervous coming into a game with a 31-3 lead.
Yeah, you're in uniform. You're on debut now. It's sure he's nervous.
Played his college football at Youngstown State, not too far from here, where he was once upon a time an understudy to Ron Jaworski.
get a chance to throw his first pass. Well, it's 3rd and 1. It's going to be close. Yeah.
3rd down, less than a yard needed for the first down as Hawthorne takes the handoff. Steelers come in with a second tight end. Grossman and Cunningham both in there at the tight end positions. Bradshaw winds up 12 out of 19, 217 yards, 4 touchdowns.
Not bad.
Hawthorne driving for the first down. It'll be close, but some of you watching this game will now be switched to the Minnesota-Detroit game in Pontiac, where the score is Detroit 10, Minnesota 7. Steelers picked up the first down at the 30-yard line. 1st and 10 from that point, with less than a minute remaining in the 3rd period. I don't think he's too worried, is he?
He was asking who they played next week.
And 10, Steelers at the 30. Obviously, they've told Stout just to get in there and hand it off.
You know, this Bear team today, it's a game now that could be out of reach. 31-3. Not being naive enough.
Could be out of reach.
It could be out of reach, and it probably is out of reach. But the Bears have played well at the end of last year. They've got to regroup this year. They're a better football team than they've played like today.
Frank Lever along with Roger Staubach. We're at Three River Stadium in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, going into the 4th quarter. And this gentleman, I just wanted to check to make sure you're wearing suspenders and pants. Anybody that say that this game may not be out of reach yet, I would have to put it a conservative mode.
Well, I said that you never know, but it's not too prosperous right now for Chicago.
2nd and 4. Steelers ball from their 37-yard line. And the big question is, will Cliff Stout get to throw his first NFL pass today? He has displayed adeptness at handing off the football thus far. Where's your friend Lambert?
There's Jack. Yep. He's got his teeth back in now.
What do you tell me? He puts him in.
I tell you, he's a good one. I tell you, he's an excellent football player. He's also a leader in that defense with Joe Green. Joe's been out all day today, but Lambert and Green are the key ingredients as far as leadership on that Pittsburgh defense.
3rd and 3. Here's Stout's first pass.
There it is.
And Lynn Swan with the reception at the 48-yard line. And Bradshaw there at the sidelines to lead the cheers.
You know, Lusby, number 47, was around the ball. Gary Finsick was there. The Steelers have made some fine catches into some pretty good pass coverage today. There's 2 defenders in the area. It's a nice throw by Stout, and he's popped by Finsick, and he's got Lusby right behind him. It's good concentration, a good play.
1st and 10. Steelers
1 for 1.
Fair 47. Want to retire right now, right? That one felt so good, he's going to try it again. This time with Cunningham, the tight end. Benny Cunningham, who's missed a good portion of the season with an injury. First down at the 29.
Terry, yeah.
He's wondering why they're applauding Stout.
Yeah,
he's getting ready to go back in.
Cunningham made a good move on, he was really man-to-man on Finsick, who was a strong safety. He takes the tight end, in many cases man-to-man. On first down, he had him, and Cunningham made a good move to the outside, and Stout was right on the money. He anticipated, he threw the ball in anticipation. It was right there.
1st and 10, Steelers ball, a lot of contact prior to the snap.
You know, that's a little tactic that a lot of veteran quarterbacks have as far as changing their snap count to draw the other team off sides. And Stout is...
he's going to get his opportunity. He's going to show Noel everything he's got.
He's got some experience calling those signals.
Offside against the Chicago Bears will cost him 5. Other scores. Boy, the Giants get their problems, don't they? Scored 3 points against Philadelphia last week. 0 so far against the Rams. Detroit leading Minnesota by 3. New Orleans over Miami. That's somewhat of an upset. Cleveland, Tampa Bay in a tight one.
Offside, number 90.
And Houston has come back to tie Cincinnati in the 4th quarter. Buffalo leading Oakland. 4th period score. Well, how about your Cowboys?
They're hanging in there.
Having a little tough time with the Green Bay. There's a 90-yard interception return by Carl Allen of St. Louis, responsible for that 7-0 lead that they hold. Hawthorne. Oh, he almost broke the last tackle. Takes it down to the 15. That's another first down. Speaking of Philadelphia, St. Louis, the Eagles have come back to not that game at 7 apiece. They're still playing in the first half. So much for the scores. Pass more of those along to you as the afternoon progresses. 1st and 10. This drive started back at the 20-yard line. Mostly on the ground, but 2 pass completions.
There was a mix-up in the snap that time. The ball was late. Someone was...
Rocky Blyer took the handoff. Rocky's played his last year, you know.
Rocky is playing his last year.
False start, number 77, offense.
He's had a great career.
Isn't that what I said? Rocky's playing his last year?
They're using him in specialty situations this year, a lot on 3rd down. He's an excellent receiver. He's been a great blocker for Franco, and also he makes the key runs when they need him. So he's been their versatile man. He's been a starter, and now he's in a backup role just to help the team. He said this will be his last year.
Steve Corson, guilty of the offside. There he is.
Number 20, the Rock.
First and 15 now from the 20-yard line. Stout looking for his first touchdown pass. Intended for Smith. And Neil Armstrong couldn't bear to look at that one.
That ball was high, and I think Jim Smith also saw Gary Finsick coming across there, so it would have been a heck of a catch, even if the ball was lower. So it was too high.
I tell you, he can do everything as good as you, I guess, except sing.
Well, you know, most guys stand with a cup on the sidelines, they're drinking it, but he's spitting into it. No, I don't chew tobacco. But other than that, Frank,
but you don't sing either, do you? Do you sing?
Yeah.
Second and 15. Ooh. Hawthorne fell it at the line of scrimmage, but the play had been whistled dead. Big hit by Al Harris, number 90, the second-year defensive end. Number 1 draft pick last year. Well, in addition to the football games, we'll bring you up to date on the progress of the American League Baseball race. Yankees beat Detroit, so their magic number goes to 2. They didn't beat them yet. They're ahead of them. And Baltimore and Cleveland tied up in the 4th. So Yankees win and Baltimore loses. Again, we'll repeat, the Yankees' magic number could be down to 1. Ron Johnson figured by now he'd be loose.
Well, they've been off the field so long that he's trying to stay loose.
3rd and 17. Stout flushed out of the pocket. Sees it open. 20, 15.
Oh.
I'll tell you, he hasn't learned one thing, has he? He's trying to run over those linebackers.
Well, that was Finsick, Barry Finsick, number 45. Ran right into him. He bounced off for a couple extra yards. He's got the crowd behind him, though. Crowd wants him to go for it also.
4th down, and the Steelers need, called it 4 for the first down. They're at the 9-yard line. They need to get to the 5 for the first. And no indication that the field goal unit will be coming on. So it'll be up to Mr. Stout to either pick up the first down, get him in the end zone, or give up the football.
Here they come. Here they come.
They're all over the place. Franco Harris for the touchdown. Young man did a good job of reading the blitz. But we got a flag. We got a penalty marker. It's going to be, I believe it's against Chicago. So Stout gets congratulations on his first regular season NFL touchdown pass. That is the Steelers' 5th touchdown pass of the afternoon.
Watch Jim Smith almost brings his man into the play right here. Franco's so wide open, but Smith is coming across here also, almost brings Finsick into the play. And Gary Finsick comes off of Smith, and Franco catches the ball.
Barr with the extra point. That makes it Pittsburgh 38 and Chicago 3. We'll return to Three River Stadium after this word from your local station. Medicare cost from Chuck Knoll when he returned to the bench. Barr kicking off. Suey at the 10-yard line has gotten a lot of work today running back kickoffs. Carries this one out to the 30.
Suey taking the kickoff.
1st and 10 for the Chicago Bears, and we're going to have a change at quarterback. Here comes Vince Evans. Came off the bench last week. Couldn't pull it out against Minnesota, but he did throw the long touchdown bomb to Watts. That 89-yarder was the longest by a Chicago quarterback since 1967, and is the longest pass play in the NFL this year. Officials mark the ball at the 29-yard line. Payton in there along with Suey at the running back positions. Evans drilling Baschnagel over the middle. 45, 47-yard line, but quite obviously you have to be aware of the fact that the Steelers defense loosens up considerably with a 35-point lead.
That's true. The Steelers still on first down there. They're playing their basic defense. They bring the cornerbacks up, the safeties go back, and there's a hole in that middle if you have enough time to throw it and the receiver can adjust to it, and that's what Baschnagel did. Also, Vince Evans got popped after he threw that ball.
Phipps winds up, if indeed he is through for the afternoon, 10 out of 20 for 108 yards. 1st and 10. Bears at their 48-yard line. They'll have to regroup against Tampa Bay next week. Payton trying to get outside, 50, down to the 45, and run out of bounds in front of the Steeler bench.
Run out of bounds by 10.
There's Mike Phipps, number 15. Another long afternoon.
What you want to do also, I'm sure Mike is really disappointed. Of course, they've given up a lot of plays. Avellini's over there trying to console him, but the big thing that Chicago wants to do, they want to play hard the rest of this quarter. They want to play with intensity. First of all, you don't want to get people hurt. The same with Pittsburgh. They're ahead 38-3, but if they drop in their intensity, of course, people can get hurt. They've got to regroup. Chicago do the best they can the rest of this game, regroup, and go on to next week.
Baschnagel to the right side. Payton
is running hard.
Down to the 41-yard line. Walter Payton, who is paid a reported $450,000 a year, currently the highest paid player in the National Football League. But really about half as much as O.J. was making last year before he gave it up. Vince Evans, the Bear quarterback. And we mentioned at the outset, as Payton comes out of the game, that Evans had a very, very big afternoon against Dallas last year.
Payton looked like he was upset about something. We might try and look into that. Good play-action pass.
That was set up nicely. The throw was a little bit high as it was intended for Robert Fisher, number 85.
I think he was taken out to rest him, but it looks like he probably wants to go back in.
Payton has now rushed for 60 yards on the afternoon in 12 carries. He said it's been several years.
I'd say Walter's a competitor. He's run hard the whole game, and if they hadn't got behind like they had, he probably would have had a 100-yard day rushing. He just hadn't had that much chance. He's averaged about 5 yards a carry, so he's run well today. He's a good blocker, good receiver.
Last visiting player to rush for more than 100 yards here was in 77, Greg Pruitt. Evans looking for Baschnagel, and it is intercepted in the end zone.
That's Wagner's second interception of the day.
Mike Wagner intercepts for the touchback, and the Steelers will take over at the 20-yard line.
Well, they might give him the ball on the 1 there, Frank. It was close, and that's a kind of a referee's decision right there. Evans got the ball up a little bit late. He had to scramble around Cole, and by the time he got rid of the ball, it was a little late, and gave Wagner a chance to get back there, along with Dwayne Woodruff, and the referees are going to mark it on the 1-yard line.
That, of course, is an official's judgment call whether he, in effect, was carried into the end zone or would have been down at the 1. And right now, they're ruling that he would have been down at the 1-yard line and going to give it to the Steelers at that point. The difference, of course, means they'd get it at the 20 on the touchback.
I would say if Pittsburgh wasn't ahead 38-3, they might complain about that.
A lot more.
I sure wouldn't right now.
Mike Wagner's 33rd career interception timeout here in Pittsburgh, and Roger and I will be back right after this. The Pittsburgh Steelers sitting this one out.
John has started this day off with a bang. He had a trap early in the game, a couple of key stops on some runs, and he's had overall a very good day.
Ex-Marine, spent a couple of years in the Marines between high school and college. Steelers ball at the 1-yard line. The Steelers going to work on running down a little bit of this clock right now. Not in any particular hurry as Rocky Blyer takes the handoff. Gets it out to the 3 for a pickup of 2. 8 minutes left to play. Ho-hum. Another afternoon for Terry Bradshaw. Just another 4 touchdown passes.
Yeah, Terry's looking for the Gatorade or the ice water right now.
He's at the 200-yard mark now in all 4 starts this season. Steeler rushing off the field. Craig Wolfley, rookie offensive lineman, hurt his hand.
I think they must have a pump over there and pump those guys' arms up. Look at how they have their shirts.
They're all that way.
He's coming over. He's going to get his arms pumped up.
Yes, someone told me once upon a time that the Steelers' jerseys, their short-sleeve jerseys, they keep them very close so the defensive lineman cannot grab at anything loose. They do that intentionally, and it's one of the so-called little things.
Sounds good to me, Frank.
Steelers. Frank Lieber along with Roger Staubach at Three Rivers Stadium in Pittsburgh. Steelers with the ball. They have a second down. Need 8 for the first down from their own 3-yard line. Leading 38-3 in this NFL interconference game. Clips out at quarterback. Trying to hit Franco Harris. Chuck Noll about to send in Calvin Sweeney, the 3rd wide receiver, with the play. Have an easy afternoon for Chuck. Well, let me ask you the big question. Do you think it's out of reach yet? Huh?
I think it's going to be tough.
I hate to put you on the spot, Roger.
I think it's going to be tough to come back in this one, Frank.
You're leaning a little more towards...
I'm just telling it like I think it is.
Sweeney wide to the left side. Swan is split off to the right. Little hit screen from Stout to Lynn Swan, and Swan is out to the 5-yard line. It's a little close to the goal line to be throwing that type of pass, isn't it?
That one is 38-3, it isn't.
Well said, my man.
That's not a bad play, though. It's a quick screen out there. You get the guard tackle out in front of him, and he can break it. It's a pretty safe pass.
Well, somebody better find Colquitt. They've got a punt again, second time today. Greg Colquitt punting from 9 yards deep in his end zone. Center fell asleep. Lusby is deep. Fields it for the Bears at the 43 and is dropped at that point.
You got to admire those Steelers. They're still...
Their specialty teams are playing
with intensity.
like it was still up in the air. Craig Wolfley Making the stop for Pittsburgh. Timeout. Bears ball, 1st and 10 at the Steeler. 42.
Here's another Radio Shack major computer breakthrough. The amazing new TRS-80 Pocket Computer, only $249. Imagine a basic language computer that weighs just 6 ounces. Now carry TRS-80 power in your pocket while traveling, on the job, solve problems, process data, and store it in permanent memory for instant recall. The amazing TRS-80 Pocket Computer, only at Radio Shack, the biggest name in little computers.
Introducing the new world car, Ford Escort, with better ideas from around the world at your fingertips. Road-hugging 4-wheel independent suspension, front-wheel drive, precise rack and pinion steering, stabilizer bar for tight turns, new power-efficient engine for easy freeway cruising, and higher gas mileage ratings than Rabbit, Accord, Corolla hatchback. Ford Escort, built in America to take on the world.
6 minutes, 52 seconds left to play in the football game. The Steelers have rolled up 404 yards total offense. They've averaged 7 yards every time they put the ball in play and snap from center. Bears with a 1st and 10 at the Pittsburgh 42-yard line. And Payton is not in there right now. McClendon, one of the running backs, Evans, taken off and sliding to a stop down at the 35. You know, getting back to that game in Dallas last year, he was very impressive, I thought. And you really had to come from behind to pull that thing out.
We did in the closing seconds. He threw a couple of touchdown passes. He's got the ability to move around. He's quick and he can scramble, and he gets out of the pocket. He can throw on the run. Of course, that time he went downfield with the ball, and he's learned that sliding technique, which is good.
It only took you about 5 years to learn that, didn't it?
Separated shoulders.
2nd and 3. Bears at the Steeler 35-yard line. McClendon running hard, picks up the 1st down at the 27. Willie McClendon out of the University of Georgia.
1st and 10, Chicago ball at the Pittsburgh 26.
Ball is at the 26-yard line, 1st and 10. The Bears got a mini drive going, coming up with good field position following the punt by Colquitt. 5 minutes, 25 seconds. Clock is moving. Evans wants to throw it over the middle. Matsui down to the 20-yard line.
Lauren Taves in there and put the stop along with Woodruff.
That's short of the 1st down. Steelers need to get to the Bears need to reach the 16, so it'll be 2nd and 4 for Chicago. Steelers' next start will be at Minnesota next Sunday, and the Bears home to play Tampa Bay. The bad thing about the Bears start is that 2 of their first 3 losses were in the division. Those are tough ones to make up. Contact by the Steelers' Tom Beasley, number 65, the left tackle, filling in for Joe Green, who has not played a down of football.
Number 8, offense.
Well, they say that Evans, the quarterback, pulled him offside.
Haven't seen that for a while.
Let's see if we can take a look at it again. What would it be, a head movement?
Well, technically, if a quarterback is really has a rhythm where he screams out maybe a hut after his regular cadence, they could call it on the quarterback for causing the offside. But it's very unusual to see that.
2nd and 9 from the 26-yard line. Watts in motion over the middle to Watson. Evans threw it behind him.
Evans pass intended for Watts.
Evans is
3rd down.
2 out of 5 so far for 24 yards.
Bears have got some changes in that offensive line. Rocco Moore's in there and a few other people, but they've had a rough day. Some turnovers have really hurt them. They've missed some key third down.
Third down, 9. Chicago at the Steeler 26-yard line. Evans intended for Watts, and that is Mike Wagner, his third interception of the afternoon.
Well, I don't know who Vince was throwing that to.
I'll tell you one thing, though. Wagner's caught as many passes as the Bears' leading receiver thus far today. Pretty good day for this young man on the defensive side of the ball as the Steelers continue to coast. 38-3. Walter Payton will not see any action the remainder of the day. He is okay, but they have just taken him out to rest him. Mike Wagner with 3 interceptions. Last time a Steeler intercepted 3 passes in the game, it was Wagner. And it was October 28, 1973. Walter Payton, by the way, winds up with 60 yards rushing on the afternoon and 12 carries, an average of 5 yards per carry. But again, because the Bears got behind, they had to put the ball in the air a lot more, I'm sure, than they wanted to. Rocky Blyer on the handoff escapes a tackle at the line of scrimmage and drives forward to the 24-yard line. 4 minutes and 15 seconds remaining. Walter needs 1 more yard to surpass Leroy Kelly, the former Cleveland star, moving to 7th place on the NFL's all-time rushing list. 60 yards this afternoon in his first appearance ever against the Pittsburgh Steelers. The only other time these two clubs were scheduled was when Walter was a rookie back in 1975, and he had to sit that game out because of injury. 2nd and 6. Stout, who's had more than a quarter of action, hands off this time to Frank Pollard.
You know,
number 44.
Craig Wolfley's in there, number 73 for the Steeler offense in the line. I thought that'd be interesting. We keep talking about the quarterback and all these poor linemen. These guys are in there the whole game, and you know they do their job. They're beating their heads in there. Sometimes we don't even notice when they're in and out.
All right, Mike Webster is the center.
They make us the heroes, and we don't do
Tyrone
anything for them.
McGriff is in there at guard.
Yeah.
Tyrone McGriff was the last man picked in the NFL draft.
I'm trying to do something for him now.
It's too late, Roger. On 3rd and 5, wide open is that man Smith. Out of bounds at the 50-yard line.
I don't think they're really trying to pour it on right now. They're trying to just keep possession of the ball, and they'll probably now get it at midfield and run the ball. I'm sure they're not trying to.
And what makes you so sure?
To run it up. Well, they still want to complete plays. They want execution, but they still want to keep the first downs going and keep possession of the football. You know, talk about McGriff. The only other player, the last guy drafted.
There's the man who wishes he was an astronaut today.
Right. Neil Armstrong was Don Nottingham, the former Baltimore Colt Miamier.
How long ago was that?
Before the World War II, I believe. Here's a play up the middle.
Big ball for Pollard.
So Nottingham was just a few years back.
Down to the 39. That's been a good 10 years, I'll bet, anyway, since Nottingham has come up. That last reception by Jim Smith was his 6th of the afternoon, which is a career high for him, and he's gained 128 yards on those 6 passes. Buffalo Bills are still undefeated. They beat Oakland today, 24-7. Break up the Bills. Meanwhile, here at Three River Stadium, the Steelers coast 38-3. 2 minutes and 14 seconds left. You think it's out of reach yet, Roger?
Well, that's tough right now.
Of course, you always excelled at that 2-minute drill. That's when the game came alive.
If everybody would have a heart attack right now, they might have a chance.
2-minute warning going to both benches as Cliff Stott comes over to the near sidelines for a word with head coach Chuck Noll. We'll be back in Pittsburgh in just a moment. 2 minutes left to play in the football game. Stott back into the huddle for the Pittsburgh Steelers, who have the ball to the Bears' 38-yard line. It's a nice time when you're on the long end of the score right now, isn't it?
Oh, it is. It's a good time to
think about going out dinner with your wife.
All the tension and anxieties before the game, they're solved before the game's over, and that's a good feeling for a football player. Of course, Chicago's trying to think about next week and regroup, and they'll get back with it. The Bears have a good football team. They just need to start playing with some consistency, not make mistakes.
Russell Davis, it is time for us to tell you that our production today was under the supervision of our executive producer, Charles H. Milton III. Our producer is Perry Smith, and our director, Tony Verna. Responsible for all these outstanding pitchers, Joan Vetrano and Joe Tier, also on hand, along with Sandy Bell and Tom, Big Tom.
The game, the production staff has been fantastic, and I've enjoyed it. Unfortunately, the Bears have not enjoyed it today.
2nd down, 11. Bears from the Steelers from the Bear 39. Pollard inside the 35 to the 33. The clock is ticking away. The final moment now of this football game.
The clock is an ally right now of the Steelers.
You really think so?
Yeah.
Well, with judicious use of their timeouts, I would think they could pull this one out. This point, you're on the losing side. You want that thing to wind down as fast as the winning team does, don't you?
Right.
Get it over with, get out of here, and regroup for next week. 3rd down, 4 for the first down from the 34. Stott wants one more touchdown. Just a trifle behind Rocky Bleier.
Where that play came from.
4th and 4. Frank Pollard, number 44, disappears into the Steeler huddle with the play from the bench.
I think he was sent in to say, hey, don't throw the ball again.
Coach Bradshaw calls all of his own plays. With Stott in there, I don't know if they afforded him that luxury. On the delay, Pollard is stopped cold. Nothing. And that'll be the last play of the football game, I would think.
Well, it's a change of possession here. The clock stops.
And the agony continues for a moment or two more for the Chicago Bears.
I said we lost the game one time. I don't like to talk about previous history or games, but 38-0. The Monday night to St. Louis, and came back, bounced back, and won 5 in a row. And sometimes a game like this can turn you around because the Bears have.
Vince Evans. Rainbow downfield. Interception number 4 for the Pittsburgh Steelers. This one by J.T. Thomas. With 7 seconds left to play in the game. And that is unfortunate because we have another timeout here. Change of possession. 4 interceptions.
Wonder where Wagner was. He must have been out of position.
I think 3 is a good afternoon's work. Chuck Noll enjoying this particular afternoon. L.A. Rams beat the Giants. Giants did finally get on the scoreboard. First touchdown in 2 games. 28-7. Los Angeles over New York. That was J.T. Thomas' 14th career interception. If you're keeping track of such things. One more snap.
This is it. This is the old famous quarterback fall down.
And Chicago is out of its misery. 38-3. Jim Smith, the star of this afternoon's game, on the receiving end of 3 Terry Bradshaw touchdown passes, the biggest day of his career. 6 catches for Smith for a total of 128 yards. We'll try to talk to him when we come back after these words. Once again to Three Rivers Stadium in Pittsburgh. Our final score 38-3. We tried to get a hold of Jim Smith. We tried our best, but Chuck Noll had other plans for him.
Well, Jim had to get in the locker room. They wanted to give him the game ball. He had a fantastic day. He caught 3 touchdown passes, and he was all over the field. He also made some big first down plays. So Jim Smith filling in for John Stallworth has kept a legend going. John Stallworth, of course, one of the great wide receivers, along with Jim Smith today. Lynn Swan, the Steelers have got it together, and Bradshaw's thrown extremely well.
You watched the Steelers today. I guess you're not harboring any thoughts of coming out of retirement and getting one more shot at it. They're pretty awesome the way they look today.
Well, the Steelers have had some difficult moments early in the season. They did so last year also, but today they played very well. They have some people banged up, but they have enough depth, enough quality people behind. They have the people at the skilled positions to make the big plays. They had 2 turnovers today that could have been costly. Of course, Chicago didn't take advantage of it. Chicago immediately turned the ball back over again, and the Steelers took advantage of that. So it's been a day of good fortune for the Steelers, big plays, and a big victory.
Probably, if you want to get right down to it, right near the end of the half, Campbell intercepts that pass. They got the first down on the 20. The game is certainly still within reach, and they fumble it back on the next play, and the Steelers then go the length of the field.
It was 17-3. It could have been 17-10. Instead, the Steelers go down.